Hello Ho in Port Slade. I'm here with the Secretary of State for Works and Pensions, James Purnell, who's kindly agreed to answer some of the questions. And what we're going to look at today is particularly carers. Now, James, does your department work with the Treasury to ensure that the VAT regime doesn't discriminate against the disabled or their carers?
We do, yes, and I know this is something you've done lots of campaigning on, so may be interested to know that the UK operates the best regime for sort of zero rating for VAT for disabled people, I think anywhere in the EU. We are looking at the moment at what more we can do for carers, and we'll be publishing some documents on that shortly, but happy to answer any other questions on it.
Yes, I think these brave men and women, and in some cases children, are very much the unsung heroes of our nation. And although we've done a lot for them, there's still a lot more to go. One of the issues which has been brought forward to me by many constituents is the difference when, for example, if you're a carer in your 60s and suddenly you become a pensioner. Now at this point, carers of either of husbands, wives or partners, or indeed of disabled children, are at a point when they're beginning to worry, one, what will happen to them in the future, and two, exactly how they're going to be able to cope physically with the sometimes very stringent demands on their role. Now, a case, for example, that was brought up to me was one of my constituents who cares for his disabled son and also has a disabled wife. When he hit 65, wanted to change his car and found out that to get the VAT taken away from his car, he'd now have to go through Motability. Well, he got a better deal on the net, to be perfectly honest. In general, what are the difficulties in this transition between before you're a pensioner and a carer and after you're a pensioner and not a carer?
Okay, well there's a specific point there about Motability, and it's worth saying that Motability is operated at arm's length from the government, so we don't run it. They're a sort of a trust that runs that. I know they'd be very happy to look into the individual constituent's case that you raise. And we think on the more general point, you're absolutely right. You know, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to carers for all the work that they do for their families, often looking after people who aren't related to them actually, and you know, it's part of the fabric of our family and social life in this country, and you know, the government very much recognises the work which they do. We're doing this review of carers, the Carers Review, which has been working with lots of organisations who represent carers, talking to carers themselves, and we'll be looking at what that recommends in the summer. So you know, there's been a long process of consultation on that, and been looking at all the issues that have been raised. There is this thing which sounds incredibly technical called the overlapping benefits rule. I don't know if you want me to go into.
Yes, if you would,
okay.
That would be helpful.
So basically, there's this principle in the system that you don't get paid twice in benefits for the same thing, and both carers allowance and the pension are effectively replacing people's inability to work. So one, because you're caring for someone for 35 hours a week, the other one because you reach pension age. And so when people get to pension age, they don't get carers allowance on top of their pension. And I know lots of people feel that that's unfair, but if we got rid of that principle in the benefit system, it would cost us absolutely billions and billions of pounds, and that's been the same under governments of all colours. What we do is, if you are a pensioner who is on pension credit, for example, you get more for caring for someone. So we do have that sort of protection built into the system, so that if you are struggling on low income, you also get more money if you're having to look after someone.
That's really good news, but I think both of us recognise that most carers look after the people they care for far more than 35 hours a week. Is there any way in which, particularly for older people, that you can support them to get additional care? And is that something that you're looking into?
Yes, there's the Carers Review. We've also, as you know, just started off this big debate about long-term care and how we can, you know, make sure that people get the right care, that it's paid for in the right way, and that in particular people get real control over the way that they're getting care. So that's definitely something for your constituents to get involved in. That consultation process is going to be a really important thing over the next few months.
How exactly would they do that?
I think if they go to, I mean, you can put a link on your website, but if they come to the Department for Health website or the DWP website, there'll be links through to that consultation.
That's great. And how long will the consultation last?
Well, I think we're looking to have a few months of consultation and then come to some views in early next year.
That would be really good news. I'm sure a lot of my constituents will want to take part in that. Can I move to a different group just quickly? How do you intend to create incentives to persuade people combining employment, the younger group, with caring as a possible option which can bring monetary benefits for them?
Well, we do have a ability for people who are caring to work a certain amount of time, up to just over £90 I think it is, and keep that money and keep their carers allowance as well. But actually how people who are carers can make sure they get back into work is a really important part of this review that we're looking at. So that's all answers flow to the
That's
carers
great,
review.
and it's great we can take part in it. Thanks
Great.
very much, James Purnell.
Thank you.